talk. Hey, you, I think you must.
Welcome back, and as you can see today we're in my kitchen. We're going to do something a little different today, and it's cutting bait. So this can go for fresh or salt water, but I'm doing a lot of saltwater fishing, and squid in a boat can make a mess. So one of the best things to do is just take a little time in the evening or a week or a day or a month before you go fishing and do some prepping on your squid or your bait, your fish, whatever, and separate it up into smaller portions, because you open that bag, it's $8, and if you only use half of it, the rest you usually throw over the side of the boat. So we're going to make smaller portions. We can bring it all with us, keep it on ice. Whatever we don't use, you just put back in the freezer. So let's get to a little prepping. I'm going to show you how I prep my squid, and we'll go from there. So preferably do this next to a sink, and if you're married, your wife may or may not like it, or your husband may or may not like it. Me, my cat doesn't care. Okay, so for the squid, rip the head off. You put that aside. We're going to put that in the sink. And I'm just going to cut the fins off. So these will also stay with the heads, and I'll be using those for cut bait later. So squids have ink, and that's one of the reasons we want to clean it at home, because cutting this and dicing it up on your boat, it just makes a mess. Gets on the floor, you're stepping on it, and next thing you know, your whole boat is covered in squid. So anyways, we're just going to cut it right down the middle. And then we're going to remove all the insides. These we're just going to put in a bag, which I will then put in the garbage outside. There is a piece of cartilage in every one. You just take your knife and slip it under there, pull the cartilage out, and then now we're going to wash these off in the sink. So everybody prepares their squid different. Somebody may prepare it different than I'm going to. That's fine. There's a million ways to skin a cat. So what I want to do is I want to get the skin off it, because I want these fillets nice and white. So as long as you have a nice sharp knife, you just grab the skin and it will peel off, okay? Now some squid are pure white, others are still going to have some color depending on the species and everything else, but for the most part it's white squid. So when you take this off, this is all the chromatophores and everything that makes them change color. Okay, so depending on how big the squid you get, you know, depends how many you're going to put in a bag and whatever. I like long strips, the full length of the squid, and each one you can get at least three good strips out of. And again, depending what kind of fish you're prepping your squid for. Some people are going for huge fish and they want a whole squid. Well, you don't have much prepping to do with that. But if you're just going to bait a hook for some snapper or some grouper or something like that, you really don't need a lot. They're just going to eat anything. And if you're going for smaller fish, you know, you're going for little lane snapper or something like that, hey, you can always cut these in half. Those are bait stealers anyways. When this is floating, they usually grab the end and rip it off your hook. So again, it all depends on how you're doing it. So one squid gets me 3 fillets. I'm probably going to put 3 squid in each package. 3 squid is nice, you know, it's 18 little strips. That should be plenty for a couple hours. I'll have another bag with me in case I go through it. But if I don't, and I decide to, you know, throw out or the squid, or it's been out way too long or whatever, I'm not throwing away a lot of money. So let's continue cutting it and we'll pack it. Now, one thing you want to do is keep your bait cold while you are, you know, cleaning it. So what I do is I just take a bowl, put some ice in it, and then we're going to take sea salt. And I just take some sea salt, and we're going to sprinkle some of that sea salt in there. And we're going to make salt water. You can just eyeball how much you want it, and you can't put too much in there. So you don't need a whole container, just a couple of tablespoons. Okay, and then your fillets can just sit in there while you're cleaning all the rest of the squid, and it'll stay nice and cold. So the salt in your ice water actually keeps the water colder. Don't ask me why, I'm not a scientist, but it does. So now if you're doing this near your sink, you can put the squid guts down your garbage disposal. Do not put the squid cartilage, the piece of cartilage that's on the inside. Do not put that down your garbage disposal. It'll sit there and spin and chop up forever. So the squid I'm keeping here, you can also keep in the salt water with all your fillets that you cut to keep them cold and ready to be cut. Okay, so just mark your package how you want it, whether it's a ½ pound. I opted to change it from a ½ pound because I ripped the heads and the guts out and everything else. That's a pound of whole squid. I'm using 3½ squid. I get 6 strips, so 6 times 3 is 18, and then 3 for a half strip. 21 strips, bag it. Now if you can, flatten the strips out while they're in there, so it's not a big ball, and then flatten it down, zip it up. Now it's very flat and it's great. You can have like 20 of these and it doesn't take up a lot of room. So you can throw that one in the freezer while you're prepping the rest of your squid, and repeat process. So I hope this was useful for some people. A lot of people don't think about prepping their bait prior to getting in the boat. So if you can keep your boat cleaner and enjoy the time on the water and less boat cleaning at the end of the day, hey, I'm glad I could help out a little bit. Until next time, take care and tight lines.
Hey, you, can we talk? Hey, you.